Hello everyone, welcome once back again to my channel, and in this video I'll be going to teach you what are variables and different data types in JavaScript. So as in any other languages, we also have variables. There is nothing without variables in any coding language. So let me tell you something about JavaScript. JavaScript is a weakly, or you can say loosely typed language. So what is the difference between loosely typed language and strongly typed language? So strongly typed languages are languages in layman terms where we have to specify which data type to use. So if you're on C or C++, you have to specify. If we have to make a variable, it is going to be type of integer type, or it's type of string or a boolean. But in weakly typed languages or loosely typed languages, we don't have to do that. So I have to make just a variable, and it can be anything. So whatever I am initializing it with, it will take its data type. So for example, so there are three ways we can declare a variable. The first is called var. So var, and then I have to type the name of the variable I'm going to use. In this case, let's say test. So the name of the variable is test is equal to, let's say, 52. And there is let. So let's call it test2, and let's make it 45. And there is constant test3, and that's something 65. So what is the difference between these three? So in the versions of JavaScript before, or in ES5, we were using var keyword. So, and in ES6 and so on, we are using let and constant. So what is the difference between these two? So the difference, basically in layman terms, is that var is a function scoped variable, but let is a block scoped variable, and it has to do something with hoisting. So I'll explain this in my next video, what exactly is hoisting. So for now, just remember that it's better to use let and constant than var. So var is a keyword of an old language, of an old version. So we will be using let for now. Okay, so we have that out of the way. So okay, so how many types of variables or data types are there in JavaScript? So in total there are 8 types of variables, namely string, number, boolean, begin, object, null, undefined, and symbol. So out of those 8, we'll be using only around 5 mostly. So those are number. So let me first explain what is number. So number is, as the name suggests, any number, 45, 65, 88, 100. So okay, let's make a variable. Let make it test. So let's call it 12. So as you can see here, here we have not defined any, if it's a number or it's a string. It's just let and variable which has a value of 12. So what is the data type of test? So in JavaScript, whenever we declare a variable, it has a value of undefined, and when we actually initialize it, it takes the data type of what we have initialized it. So if I have initialized it with 12, the test variable will take the data type of number. So I can show you there, console.log. If we just console log, so here is a type of keyword, and we'll pass here the test variable. So it will print what type of variable is test. And let me just run here. You can see it's number. Okay, so let's make it a string. Let's say hello world. And now what? But now it's showing string. So what is that? So as I said, the variable test or any variable, we take the data type of what has it been initialized with. Okay, so now it's a string. But what if I make test is equal to 12? Now what? So if I console log type of test, so you can say first it was a string, now it's a number. So that's the problem with loosely typed languages. This thing becomes a bit more better in TypeScript, where you have to define what type of variable it is. But we are not going into that. So let's just stay there. Yeah. So I have shown you what is number and what is a string. So some of you don't know what is a string. String is anything, any word or number that is enclosed in double quotes or single quotes, you can also say. And with ES6, we also have something called string templates. So what you can do, you can just type any keyword or something. So it's also a string. I'll explain the what is string templates in a later video, because it's in a video of itself. It's a video of itself. So yeah. So just remember that it's a string too. And a number can also be a string. If you enclose a number, let's say this number, in a double quotes, it will automatically become a string. So if I run, you can see it's showing a string. And if I remove these double quotes, it will become a number again. So yeah, it's kind of funny, but okay. And I told you there are other than string and boolean, string and number, there are other data types too. So let me just I think I commented. Okay, so for the comment, I'll give this file in the description, so don't worry about that. Let's call it hello, and this will be a string. Let me just comment. Okay, and this will be a number. So yeah, so in JavaScript we give comments by double forward slashes. So I mean backslashes. Sorry. And there is another way to backslash star backslash. So double backslashes is for a single line, but if you want to use multiple lines, you have to use backslash star, then star and backslash, and enclose whatever you want between them, so it will become a comment too. Multi-line comment. And okay, so let me come to boolean now. So what is a boolean? So boolean only has two values, either true or either false. It can also be said that it's a little bit of higher concept, that any other value than 0 is true and only 0 is false. So yeah, so just remember that if someone says, like in some programs or some code, you'll see it will give return 0 and or any other number, and so just remember that 0 is false and any other number other than 0 is true. So okay, let's just make it we'll make it boo, and we'll get this true. So here boo is true and false is defined by FAL for just false. Okay, so and if I console log the type of boo here, it will show me boolean here. Okay, so boolean is nothing, just true and false, nothing special. Let me just show you objects. By the way, I'll explain objects in much detail later, but for now, just understand something. Objects is like dictionary, not actual dictionary, but something like dictionary. So where you have a key value pair of data. So let us say I'll make it obj and equal to, so object or JavaScript objects, we say, we enclose them in curly braces. So whatever you want the object to be, just enclose them in curly braces, and here you have a key value pair. So if you say name, then colon, and then whatever the value of that name be, let's say my name, MIJK, Mohawk. So here it becomes a JavaScript object. If you want to add more value, just put a comma and then repeat the same. Say age, and you can put even a number there, and let's say 20. So it's a JavaScript object. There is much more to JavaScript objects. I'll explain this in a later video, but just for now, just understand that. And if I console log its type, you can see console log type of an obj. Sorry, it will show you object. You can see object, an object. And as I said, there are three more type of data types. First is undefined. So undefined is nothing, just any variable that is not defined or is empty. For example, let's say, okay, UND undefined, just say undef, and if I console log undef, so just see what it shows there. Please note, I have not initialized undef, I have just declared it. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you can see it shows undefined because its value has not been initialized yet. And if I give it some value, a number, then it will show the number whatever it has. So yeah, so that is undefined. There is one more called null, and null is something that does not have a value or is empty. For example, let's make it test variable and make it null. So null means it doesn't have a value yet. And if I console.log the test variable, so okay, I have already triggered it, so make it test1. Sorry for that. Yeah, so it's showing me null. So null is nothing, just it doesn't have a value. And there is one more, actually two more. So it's called symbol. Symbol is something that I haven't used or see people use that much. So symbol is something that is unique, it always returns the unique value. Let's say make it test2 variable, and for symbol we use symbol, and we in the parentheses we enclose whatever you want the symbol type to be. Let's say I want to make it hello. Okay, and if I console log the test2, it's showing me symbol hello. Okay, and what if I make another variable? Let's say test3 is equal to symbol, and I'll make it hello again. So if anyone sees, they'll say that they both are the same variables, or test2 and test3 variable should have the exact same value, but it's not the case. So let me just show you. It's something conditional, so I will not be explaining it here. I'll explain it in my next videos. So just remember, whatever the output will be, it will be the true or false. So if the both variables were equal, the output will be true, otherwise false. You can see it's false. But test2 and test3 variables both have the same value exact, right? Symbol hello and symbol hello. Why isn't showing true? Because they should be equal. So that is the thing with symbol. So it always is unique, even if the value or the data in the parentheses is same, even then. Okay, and there is one more type. It's called a big int. So big int is like any other, it's like a number, but it has a much bigger memory. So let's make it let and equal to something. Okay, it will console log a number true only. Oh, I didn't initialize it there. So let's make a test for. I know guys, I'm bad at naming variables, but please deal with me. See. Okay, I didn't do the type of test for. Yeah. So it's showing a number. So the thing with big number is that we have to put an n at the last. So yeah, so just a single n doesn't make it a string. Remember that only n is acceptable in any of the data types. So if you were to put any other, NASF, so it shows you error, because if it's a string, you haven't enclosed it in the quotes, but only n is defined there. So it's to just show that it's a big int, nothing much more. You can see big int. So that's for this video, guys. There is more to variables and constants and let, and so I'll be explaining it in the next video. But for the data types, it's just this. Okay, thank you guys.